Time to crank up the truth. I'm Val Selby, and over the decades of working online, I've learned a most important lesson. Mindset owns your business. If procrastination, imposter syndrome, and a lack of focus have been blocking your biz, then I'm here with Val Full Volume, ready to help you see choices that you're making. Get ready to own your personality and use your expertise to create the business of your dreams. Now is the time to make changes and live your best life. So let's get to it. Hello. I'm so glad that you are here to listen to me yap at you for another week. And I've got a friend and Jennifer, and we had to pause our conversation because we're both a little ranty. So I know how you guys
save it for your podcast.
Yeah, I know y'all love when I get ranty. So I brought a friend to be ranty with today. So I've got my mighty pal, Jennifer Burke here from Mighty Marketing Mojo. And we're going to talk email and who knows what else. But we're definitely going to start with the email because that's what we're both a little ranty about right now. Thanks, Jennifer.
Absolutely. Thank you, Val. Yeah, both of us, it's the quickest soapbox you can probably get me up onto is email. I was taught, once I was taught the powers of email marketing, I want to bring everybody in with me and talk about it. And then there are certain parts about email marketing for businesses of all types that then get both of us a little soapboxy and ranty. And that's okay. Val's taught me to be bolder and to just say my piece.
Yeah. And especially when we're only talking truth. I mean, it's like we've witnessed this. We've done so much of the stupid bullshit. And it's like, okay, this is why we are sorry that we didn't get on board with some things previously, which I know I was just telling you some of the stuff about cleaning my list. And for everybody, if you're on my list, you already know that I've been like in an obsessed mode of cleaning my list, and it's gorgeous and beautiful and I love it. And that's how we started going down the rant train.
Yes, because both of us are talking that there are definite mindset issues here around, like, why did it take me so long to put in place the tech bits to make this happen? And it's like, I know Val and I have had this conversation. It's like, and so she got ahead of me and started, dusting and mopping out the corners to sparkle her list up. But for each of us, there were these just stuff in our head about, we'll do it this way, or are you going to do this way? Or, perfectionism or, but what happens if blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, and one of the biggest ones for me was that I was in such list building mode. I was numbers, because I wanted to be in certain giveaways and certain events, and you had to have a list of 5,000. So I would just go into everything. And what good is that? I have 5,000. So I don't right now. I never did hit the 5,000, but that was my goal, is 5,000. And I would have had 5,000 people on there that I'm paying for that aren't doing anything.
Right. Here's a great quote.
They don't even like me.
A great quote, and it's at top of some of my notes that say, numbers don't matter, results do.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly not about the list size. And I also like to talk community, not list, but we're talking techie bits here. So we mean list.
Yeah.
But we all get focused in our heads because of, being in the in crowd or being in this event or that event or podcast or partnerships or JV things. And they put your value at your list size. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is like telling me my value as a human is tied to, what size my waist size is.
Right.
Almost.
Yeah.
And so we go after those numbers. Like Val said, both of us have chased after events and it wasn't the right fit. It's about quality, not quantity, folks.
Mm-hmm.
And very few people feel like want to be honest with that truth.
Mm-hmm.
Of those numbers are ever going to be your truly most active readers, your loyal clickers, the people who are buying, the ones who are truly your ideal people. And if you just have this massive, massive amount, well, I guess you're going to finally win the numbers game, but you're going to have a whole lot of people you're carrying around and that you're paying for that aren't your people. Why have we bought into that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I know it's kind of like you said, it's a status symbol. It's okay. The events that are bigger, they do tend to start at 5,000. But it doesn't take into consideration the quality of their list. I could have easily hit the 5,000 mark. Absolutely could have hit the 5,000 mark. But having gone through my list so in depth, I mean, pulling every contact up, I think at this point, I've gone through 1,400 contacts and I've clicked on every single one of them, except for people like you, because I know I'm not clicking on my obvious people that I know are reading my emails, or if they aren't, I don't want to know kind of thing.
Val doesn't want to know that I don't read every email. This is because
exactly. Not true. Yeah, because we talk too. But I'm looking at them and there's 2 events that I was in that were giant list builders. And those are the 2 events that I clicked almost every single one of them into my re-engagement series immediately. Because in the last 2 years, they probably haven't opened anything, and it's like, and what good was that?
Exactly. What good is it? And it's not helping the people either, because happens from the techie side of things is we send emails out and we put our hearts and soul in, like Val does. I know that she's a bigger truth teller and storyteller in emails even than I am. And there are people out there who have joined her list at some point who want that, but they're not getting it because there's too many other people who weren't the right fit. And so they're ignoring. They haven't bothered unsubscribing, but they're just trashing the emails. Yeah. Well, folks, that helps something called deliverability. Yeah. It's telling Google and Yahoo and Outlook that maybe you're an iffy kind of content person and people aren't paying attention to you. So all of a sudden, those providers start putting you in promos and maybe not into spam, but they're definitely not necessary. They might, all because, and this is, we're talking about the inbox of somebody who actually wants to hear from you. Yeah. They're missing your message and they're missing the ways that you can help them because of the, I wish I could figure out a better way to say this, dead weight that we're carrying. People who were maybe excited about that thing in that bundle. Maybe they're just excited and they click everything in the bundle because they don't know what they need. They don't know what they want. They've got FOMO, so they grab all of it. And then let's face it, life happens and they don't have the time to go back and sort out what they really wanted to keep. Yeah. So, delete.
And deliverability was definitely a big reason why I wanted to jump into it and clean it. Well, besides the money aspect, I really don't want to pay $600 here in a couple of weeks when it extra for those people that aren't opening. But deliverability.
I mean, yes, deliverability. And that's the one I'm kicking myself over the most, because I know from having been in events and giveaways where that seemed like honestly, they were really good fits. I've skipped out on a lot of opportunities because I'm pretty sure it's not necessarily a great fit, or I'm not paying to be in an event that might not be a good fit, but I'm looking at my numbers going, oh, I know my opens are down. And it's not just, let's face it, folks, if you ever want to watch one of my videos, or I can explain you to the techie side of like what's an open and what actually counts as an open. And it's probably not what you think it is. And it's a really crap measurement, honestly, of engagement for email and things that providers and stuff like Apple have done that make it even harder to tell what's actually going on. But we get stuck in our heads and we're looking at that number. It's kind of a proxy because it is showing how are we doing and are we getting into people's inboxes? And I know my number's been not where I want it to be. Yeah. And then why haven't I done anything about it till now? I know how to do this and to fix this. So why didn't I? Yeah. And like Val and I, we're both looking at, there's dollar signs that,
yes. That was my push, was the dollar signs. But there is one reason why I am a little bit glad. And that's just because, what was it, a year ago? So both of us, Jennifer and I both use Active Campaign right now. And I know
now is the key term here.
Exactly. Yeah. I know quite a few people might be moving on soon, but one of the things was, didn't Active Campaign only bring in the Apple opens like a year ago?
How they treated the Apple, for those who don't know, basically Apple's basically saying, hey, looks like everybody's opening every single email. And you're like, what? No, different email marketing services have treated Apple's change on passing through metrics like open rates differently. Active Campaign had basically taken all of those numbers out of the mix.
Yeah.
They weren't counting anything from Apple. They didn't think that, which meant all of a sudden, your open rates.
They just dove to the ground.
Whereas I was seeing and hearing conversations from people in Flowdesk or ConvertKit or MailerLite who are like, wait, my open rates are super high. And so every email software marketing software is kind of been handling this whole issue differently. They still are. Active Campaign now lets you basically sort of see, here's what we think are your Apple open rates. Here's what we think your overall open rate is. And hey, by the way, take this all with a grain of salt. What this means from a technical point is like what Val and I are each doing in terms of spring cleaning for our email communities to make sure that people get our messages is we maybe have to implement some different things than what used to work, say, 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. And it's going to be a little messy. And for each of us who like had that number in our head where we're like, must build list, must get more people on, that this notion that I'm going to possibly be cleaning people out who actually are opening my emails because I just don't know.
Right.
Is one of those, I think it's one of those things that's holding a lot of us back. And we're just going to have to go, oh gosh, I hope not, cross my fingers. And if you really love me, you'll come back.
The right people will come back. If they're meant to be there and they're meant to be buyers and they're meant to be true community members, they will find you again and they will come back because they're probably on social media with you somewhere or in your group somewhere at the same time. I know. So that was one reason why I was like, that was one reason why I was glad that I didn't do it previously as trying to find a positive to all of this, since I obviously spent an extra $600 last year that I didn't need to. Trying to dig for a positive. But the other thing definitely for all of my emails, I'm really working on having something clickable in there.
Absolutely. So, speaking, it's maybe great timing on this because I told Val when we got started that I literally finally put in place, she's doing more of this cleanup manually. I put in place an automation series that's going through, it's going to start going through and checking for if you've taken a half a dozen different actions. That could, any of which, besides opening and clicking and visiting my website and doing, other things that clicking any link in any email, not just the things that where I'm tracking on a individual broadcast email. And it's going to say, okay, if you did any of those things, then we're gonna set this tag and it's gonna tell the system that you're engaged, and then it's gonna wait and see if you keep doing those things. Yep. If so, wow, those are most awesome people and they get the VIP status and let's make sure we email them more. And if the system doesn't see any of that stuff happening, well, then they're going to get those emails that go, hey, are you still with me? Do we not fit anymore? Or you're going to give them that free goodie. You're going to give them an extra coupon. You're going to do something. But the point is, for me, which I should have done this months ago, it's going to take time for the automation to run and to see what people are doing. I think Val, you said that you're manually clicking and going through. I assume what you put in place. I grabbed the recipes from Active Campaign. There's, engage 1, engage 2 or something like that. And then there was an email sequence that I set up and then completely tweaked because they had it set up so basic. So I'm definitely going to do a video for that one, you guys. So that's going to go into my Active Campaign workshop. But I couldn't wait. Like all of a sudden, I just got 100% obsessed with what is my list doing. And then the more I was clicking on everybody, there was zero negative to me once I started going through all of my people and seeing who's opening, who's not opening, where they were coming from. I mean, I thought that I would be like depressed about getting rid of all these people. And I wasn't at all, because I was finding all of these people that have been opening my emails that I've never had any contact with. And to me, now I'm going, those are people that now I feel like I want to go into Active Campaign and I want to go and send them a solo mail. Like, sure. Hey, I have noticed that you've done this, 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 and this. Can we have another conversation? Or, hey, I appreciate you. You've been here with me.
Yeah. But one-on-one and not even like a mass email. Like this is a one-on-one conversation is where I'm feeling like going through that. So I was excited about doing that. But that's why I started putting people in my re-engagement right away. It was just like, all right, out, Out.
Well, you know,
Out.
Val's the bold
Out.
one. She's the bold one, so she's going to take action immediately, and we're all going to learn. And I'm going to methodically figure this out. And it's funny.
I couldn't wait for it. That was my problem.
No, and I'm sitting here.
It
I'm
was
like,
going to be 7 days, and I went,
and I couldn't wait any longer because, like, Val, I know, and I've circled the date on my calendar.
Yeah.
When my email subscription is set to renew, and I'm actually looking at all of this, going, I think I'm about to take it and go month to month rather than saving the money to go annually, because I'm not sure I'm committed to Active Campaign in the long haul. And that pains me to say it.
Right.
But right now I'm committed long enough to work through can we get a more targeted and engaged list? Because if I'm going to move people, well, I'm going to move the ones who want to stick with me.
Right.
And because honestly, it's not a numbers game. I'll say it again. The right people matter more than having lots of people.
Yes.
And it matters more if those people start to know, like, and trust us, which gets to the other part of our conversation, which is you got to write the damn emails.
Yes.
Send them to them so that they can know you, like you, trust you, and then buy from you. Mm-hmm. But it's hard for all of those things to happen together if your emails are going off into the ether because we aren't targeted.
Yep.
And so we each have different paths where we're going to get there and similar motivations. And part of me is, a lot of other stuff's been going on. So for me, the one consistent is I just keep emailing. I keep writing. And I know some of them are going off into the ether. And I'm trying not to think too much about the pain of that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I'm like, if I that was what was getting stuck in my head. I'm like, oh, I can't send an email out if I wanted to have clicks and I want to track the clicks and the engagement. So I have to go set this thing up. And I'm like, I don't have time to set this thing up. So I'm just going to write the email.
Right. Yep. So one thing,
not as painful as you think. Val and I are both here to say, like, what was on our minds that we thought this was going to be so bad, so hard, so
right. Well, and it does come to the fact of just the same thing of, social media and anything, our stupid human brains, anything negative. We grab a hold of anything negative and we're like, oh my God, stop. We got to, instead of looking at the fact that if we scale our list down, if we have a list of 5,000 and we're getting an 11% open rate versus having a list of 1,000 with, gosh, I know some people that have smaller lists. I don't know their list numbers for sure, but their open rates are like 60%.
Yeah.
Because it's down to people that they love.
I've seen people getting 40%, 40%.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's been years since I saw 40% as an open rate. And that should be a warning bell.
Yeah.
And again, part of that is like, okay, how is your email system measuring opens? But still, look at your own trends over time. And if your trends in your software have been going down, well, we should probably do something about it. Yeah. But again, stupid human brains. And so that's the negativity. And my stupid human brain goes to, you have to get it right. Like, what if I fudged up, the automation? What if it's not working right? What if all of a sudden everybody on my list goes away? What if everybody starts getting tons of emails all at once? I'm like, okay, stop with that's why I have reminders on my desktop that, done is better than perfect. Take imperfect action.
Well, and working through the what ifs. What if your entire list all of a sudden just got wiped out? What if it could happen? What if it did happen and we were being dumb and didn't have a backup? Which I hope Jennifer goes into part of your thing, everyone. When you're doing your stats at the beginning of the year, also do your backup at the same time of your list.
Export.
Yeah, but it is one of the things that just start working through the stupid what ifs. And it's like, okay, what's the worst that would happen? The worst that would happen is I'd have to build a list again from scratch. Well, what's going to happen with that? That's going to be the most targeted fucking email list I've ever created in my life if I build it from zero. So that's not a negative, right?
No, and I'm also going to bet that you've started from scratch more than once. Val has had more than one business. I know this.
Yep.
You started from scratch more than once. I've burned my email list to the ground. I mean, it didn't burn anybody, but I wiped it.
Yeah.
One of the things I did when I moved to Active Campaign more than 4 years ago is I started over.
Yeah.
I started with, I think, 47 or 67 people, that list.
Right.
And so we each we know how to grow. We had it. And yes, collaborations and other people's audiences are the fastest way to grow. Let's face it, folks. If all you're doing is sticking your opt-in or your get my newsletter on the homepage of your website, truth-telling time here, nothing going to happen.
Nope.
Not unless you've got a boatload of traffic coming to your website and people just amazingly love you and want emails from you. And it just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. They had to have fallen instantly in love with you to put the email in there.
Right. But yes, we know and we can talk about ways to build. And I haven't been necessarily actively building in a few months. And maybe that's because in my head, I'm like, well, why just go grabbing numbers when you know that it isn't, isn't targeted as you want? I'd rather talk to more of the people that I'm pretty sure are the right fit for me and who are going to open things. And I want to say one other point that I think Val is brilliant at is being Val in her emails. And that's part of the whole, don't just build a list, go write the damn emails.
Yes.
I once did a challenge on this for 30 days.
And we're waiting for the other one.
And we're waiting,
we're waiting for 2023's version.
We're waiting for me to do it again. I'm still waiting to restart 2023. It's to be you. It's like we all think we have to be somebody else in our social media, in our videos, in our emails. And no.
Yes.
Be you. I'm pretty sure, Val, you've seen more engagement the more you lean into being you. Is that accurate?
150%, 200%, thousands percent. Yes. The more authentic I get in my emails, the more replies I get to my emails, which I love replies to my emails if you're on my list. If I ask you a question, I want the answer to the question. That's why I asked it.
Yes, absolutely. I'll also tell you, I'll get replies sometimes, and because I know there are certain people who do read every email that I send, and they will notice little things and they'll reply back and they're like, checking in on this. The other ones that occasionally from time to time, I'll throw absolutely wild stuff in the PS.
Yeah.
Because I know there are people who skim to the PS.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a reiteration of an offer, but other times it's like, PS, there is no PS today. Why are you still down here?
Yeah.
Or it's
I did that with my other site. Yeah, I would do that all the time.
It's a link to a joke. It might even be, I might rickroll you, and I will have people who reply, and I know they read because they're commenting.
It's like, are you paying attention?
And it's like, if I was worried about trying to be this super professional, perfect version of me in my business, I wouldn't do that. And then I wouldn't be having any fun.
Yeah.
And Val and I are, we're too old for this shit. We're not going to go do this every day if we aren't enjoying it.
No. Yeah. There's nothing to get me on the computer if I'm not going to have fun. And if it's obvious because there's been, we've talked about it a million times. How many times have I tried to be who I thought everybody else wanted me to be, and then I don't do anything. I just circle. I go binge watch Netflix. I go do anything else because I'm like, well, I don't know how to be that person, obviously, because it's not me.
That's why I believe, that's why this is Val full
Right.
Right? Because you're going to get the full Val.
Yeah. I know one thing also, talking about writing the damn emails, one thing setting up the new engagement series, I have to send my emails. I have no choice but to send multiple emails out in a week because I have a 7-day cycle. If I don't email on that 7-day cycle, then I'm instantly putting them into that cycle of they're going to have to be dropped. And that was also like a little butt kicker for me. It's like, oh, okay, there are weeks. It doesn't happen very often, but there are weeks that I just get blah. and maybe I haven't sent something out and now I can't do that at all, period.
Which is interesting. And it's one reason. So, for example, I set the initial wait time for most recently active to 14 days.
Yeah.
Because I know I email every Thursday.
Yeah.
That's the commitment I made to myself, that even when I couldn't type because I broke my freaking arm, I still sent emails out. And I generally also email on Mondays or Tuesdays, and I'm trying to email more often than that. It depends. But I wanted to make sure there was enough time in there that they had gotten at least a couple of emails.
Absolutely.
To engage with before it decided, well, maybe they're not recently active, but they're still engaged.
Yeah.
And because honestly, unlike Val, I can't commit to daily. I've never wanted to commit to daily.
Yeah.
Val has so many things to say. She's apparently not going to have a problem with this, but that's Val. And you don't have to be either Val and you don't have to be me, but you need to be you, and you need to commit to just bringing you to your emails consistently.
Yes.
Whatever consistently means for you. But Val's bringing up the point that if she's going to email frequently, well, then her welcome series or her re-engagement series is going to set that expectation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't email as frequently, so my welcome and my re-engagement series won't be quite as tight and confined.
Yeah.
It's trying to match expectations. Like I've told people when I've coached them through the welcome series writing, don't have this welcome series that goes out in 5 emails in 5 days. If you know, because of your life, you can only email once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's setting everybody up for disappointment and disengagement and mismatches with those people who could be your ideal people.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that Val is great at, you know, and the whole write your damn emails is that there seem to be people who are in the camp of, oh my God, selling and making offers in my emails feels like I'm a sleazy used car salesman. Or they're like, oh my God, I have to have an offer in every email. Otherwise they'll forget what I do and they'll forget, you know, and I have to have somebody's offer somewhere in every email. And I'm like, okay, those are both extremes.
Yeah.
You don't have to be at the extreme of those. I mean, Val, how often do you make, let's say, how often do you make offers? You know, and an offer in this case could be, you know, go do something, but it could be.
There's always a call to action. There's always a call to action, even if it's just answer the question, just hit reply and answer the question. There's always. And for me now, I set it in my template. If I don't have something, my podcast is always in the PS.
Absolutely.
And that was the easiest thing. Like I don't even have to think about it. It's like, there's always the PS down there, but I always have a call to action in there. And I've been selling a lot more than ever before. And guess what, people? When you sell more in your emails, you make more from your emails. It's really weird.
Well, exactly.
You can't buy shit if they don't know about it. That's so weird.
And Val and I are joking, like, you know, people can't buy if they don't know it exists, which, okay, I've been a little under the radar for lots of reasons the last few months. And I haven't had a new course or a new workshop or training, but I'm working on 2. And I've been woeful at telling the rest of my community about my membership that's been running for a year now. By the way, if you need techie help, you should be in Tech Therapy hang out. It's a safe space. There is no such thing as a silly question. But have I been? It's in the emails, but it's not in the emails as often as it could or should.
Right.
Be. However, I do still send links when I've got an offer for somebody that I'm an affiliate for. If somebody else is running a course, I'm like, wow, I wish I'd created that course. That's awesome. I'm so glad Cindy created it. Please go join. Go do
Why
it.
would we recreate something that we already know somebody we love and respect has it?
Yes. And
100%.
there were definitely months in the last of the year. And there were months when I wasn't teaching and training live. I was doing, you know, rehab and physical therapy, where that month's income was my membership and affiliates.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't done a lot of one-on-one client work, and that's okay. You know, there's other ways to do this. And especially, now I'll also say this, I don't cram I rarely I rarely even put more than one link to an affiliate in a given email. And I do see some people doing that where they're like, I'm like, it's a laundry list. I'm like, what am I supposed to be paying attention to here? And I don't want to call out names because some of these are people that I respect highly, but think about it. Your audience can get confused. But if I tell you with all truth and honesty and love that, hey, this is the course I would have created if I was doing it this way, go take so-and-so's course, or you know what, so-and-so has a workbook that is absolutely killer. You go get this.
Yeah.
You want to write emails better and more often? I know whose membership you should be in. And it's super cheap. You know, it's better even than when I run the Write Your Damn Emails challenge.
Right.
That said, yes, you can make those offers too. You can point people to your blog. You can point people to your podcast, to your videos, to your social media, back and forth.
Yeah.
Give them that action that helps them somehow.
And I know there was a time where there was a mindset block for me about doing that to some people, because I was thinking of them as the fact that our businesses are so similar that my brain was going, well, I can't send traffic their way. Well, nobody's business is similar. Nobody is training or teaching or doing anything the same, not a single one of us. So if I can make money off of those people that wouldn't be a good fit for me anyways, then why the hell not? If I can get them the information from the right person for them, then why not? Because now I just became the great person that they're going to check out, because they're like, well, who else does she know? Who else is she going to send me to?
Absolutely. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not the best to work on mindset work with, but I'm glad I know several coaches and people who they're going to dive in with you on that.
Right.
That was one of them. You know, I love Cindy Bedar, and Cindy's membership is fantastic. And I swear to God, it's like if I was going to create new courses every month, and I wanted to do that, it would look a lot like Cindy's. Yeah. But I don't want to do that. So I know, right? Exactly. I'd rather just send you to Cindy. And I'm like, just trust me, our brains work alike. Yeah. You know, we're different, but the same. So go take this, go join this. Yeah. And
I think what you just said was a big part of it, people. Big part of it. If we were going to do something like that, we would absolutely mimic Cindy. Absolutely. And I'll have links to Cindy in here because, we both love Cindy Bedar. But I sure as hell do not want to do a new workshop like she does every month. And she doesn't use PLR, people. No. She creates a new workshop from scratch every month.
and I'm having trouble getting new workshops done quarterly. Yeah. It's like, a hell of a mad respect to Cindy, and hell of a mad respect to everybody else who's who put something out for their members, and every month. It's possible you can do that. But folks, there's so many other things that you can be doing and sharing in your emails. And something that I know was drilled into both Val and I's heads by a former coach, that if you don't email more often, than chances are you probably are now, Val accepted, you're missing opportunities to build that connection with the people, to build a relationship, and yes, to make them offers. Yep. If you only email twice a month, and maybe that person only actually sees one of those two emails, and you only made the offer in the second email, well, they've missed it. Yeah. They've missed their opportunity to get the help they needed from you because you were too afraid to burden them or email more often. Whereas if you maybe broke it up and you sent 5 emails in a month, then you could talk about that offer once in an email, totally just about the offer. You could mention it again in another email that had good value and teaching them something about related to the offer. That if you don't email more often, you can't then wonder, why isn't email working for me? Why is nobody buying? Why is nobody clicking? Well, the answer is they don't know.
Well, and every single email they open, they have to learn who you are again, because I promise you they forgot. If you are emailing twice a month, they've forgotten you, period, the end. That you are nobody.
And I'll also say it as somebody who both participates in bundles and giveaways and summits, and who consumes them and opts in. And part of it's a learning experience to see how they're doing things. And every now and then, and there are people out there of two camps of like, do you nurture them specifically or do you not? And they're just part of your community. And I'll get just dropped into the middle of somebody's regular email series. And I'm like, remind me again who the heck you are. And wait, what we talking about here? And especially if that email only comes once a week or once every 2 weeks, my goldfish brain has definitely forgotten who you were. And or if you're the person I opted in to get something that was about, Canva templates, and then the next email I get from you is about legal copy and how to have your privacy policy done, I'm like, huh? Right. Or I opted in and I'm like, okay, it was something about social media, but then all the emails I'm getting are about you selling how to sell in the DMs, and I'm like, oh no, I wouldn't have signed up for that. What the
Who are you?
So just folks, be as transparent and honest as Val here. Be clear about, what are you talking about? These are the things I talk about. It may mean that one of the things you do in your spring cleaning, and I'd written this down, it's going to go out in an email and a social media post this week, is you go back and look at your email content. Does especially anything you've automated and that's maybe been around in your system for a while, does it match who you are right now? Does it match your message? Does it match your tone? Is it Val full volume or is it Val toned down?
Yeah.
Is it pointing to your best favorite? This is the offer I love and I want everybody to know about it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, do I have any emails in my system that talk about the membership?
I know, right?
This is something that you probably need to do at least once a year, maybe twice a year or every quarter.
Yeah, agree.
Go back and look at that stuff. It's like, I know you did it. It was such hard work. You wrote them. And the last thing you want to do is for me to tell you to go back and do it again. But you need to look at it with a fresh eye going, does this match who I am right now?
Yes.
Does this match my message? And is this the best way that I can nurture somebody and show them how they can know, like, and trust me and buy from me?
Yeah.
More importantly, do you have things for them to buy in those first emails? But that's a separate course.
I know, right? Yeah, it definitely is. Because definitely another topic. But I do have to go back through mine because people, as you are in your business, you shift. It's just the natural way everything just goes in a flow, and all of a sudden you might get more focused. And that's where I am at right now. And I know that my emailing has way slowed down because right now I don't know who I'm talking to. I even have to sit down and go through my own who the hell am I talking to workshop and figure out who the hell am I talking to, because in the last couple of weeks, things just did this wonderful shift and here we go. But I have to go back and make sure everything's caught up because, like you said, my welcome series, the tips that I'm giving in my welcome emails are great. They're going to help people still.
Yeah.
But they're not going to help on the reason that they're probably new and getting on my site now. They're going to be like, what? Because that's what, 2 years ago, Val, probably. Still relevant, still helpful. But I don't want them going, ooh, what? What?
Yes, absolutely. I also know that, the welcome series that I'd had, even when I rewrote it, when I joined Active Campaign, oh Lord, some of them were way too long. Now I write long emails, but I'm like, this is no.
And if Jennifer's saying that, then woo, that must be an ebook.
That's yes, exactly. So,
which you could do. You could pull it out and make it an ebook.
We could. But I think it's, it's just one of those things to look at. It's also one of the reasons why, and I talked about this, that I have emails that go out that are specific to the email gift or the webinar or the product, that give them a little bit of, hey, here's me, here's who I am, here's what I'm about, here's some ways to get value out of that thing you just got, free, purchased, whatever. Here's the details. Hey, whatever, and then my system, because I'm trying to be respectful of people, looks and sees, are they new to me? If they're new to me, well, then they need actually the full welcome series that gives them the full, who the heck is Jennifer and Mighty Marketing Mojo. But if it's somebody like Val, or Fran or Claudette or Karen or Pam or any of the other people who've been with me from the beginning, and they have everything I've ever done, well, I want to be respectful of them. And why on earth would I send them through the series that tells them who the hell I am? They'll be like, dude, Jennifer, I know this. And that's why, because I've been in other groups and people ask this, and the answer is no. I don't send everybody through the exact same welcome series for every single gift, offer, product, purchase, course, membership, whatever. Yeah. Only if they are absolutely brand new to my world. And those are the emails that I need to go back and check again. Do they match where we are right now? And those especially are the ones that so hard for us to write at first. And all the more important why we need to go back and spring clean them too.
Well, and it's easier once they're already written. So now it's just tweaking and changing things. We don't have to rewrite the entire thing, which is beautiful, easy part.
Good point.
So we didn't even talk about the fact that Jennifer was the beautiful coach who helped me set up my Active Campaign. Now, some of you probably know, but probably not a lot of you. I was in ConvertKit because I had clients that were in ConvertKit. ConvertKit fit my brain. I love ConvertKit. For me, there's 2 of them, and your brain attaches to one easier than the other. ActiveCampaign absolutely destroyed and blew my brain. Like, absolutely.
The opposite way, when I was running a trial of ConvertKit and my brain went, huh? So, folks, there isn't one best magic email software.
No, I wish there was.
There isn't one best magic email software.
No.
I can tell you there are some that I won't recommend to anybody.
Yep. Yep. There's a few of them. I'll just name them.
the giant gorilla in the room. And I think there are others that fit certain clients and certain businesses better than others. It needs to be the one that you're going to use. So
yes,
I appreciate that Val was willing to change. And even though her brain was broken, but here's the proof in the pudding. Val's hella consistent with her emails. And that's what matters most. You find the system that lets you be consistent.
Yeah.
And be used.
Yep. And the fact, and this is where I was going with, because she's my tech girl. So I was switching to ActiveCampaign specifically because my coach was using ActiveCampaign. I knew Jennifer was, people in my circle were using ActiveCampaign. Guess what that means, you guys? That means that I could call on people for questions and I did. I mean, I was throwing my credit card at Jennifer going, holy crap, get on a coaching call with me right now. I'm done. I've watched every freaking tutorial. I don't watch tutorials, you guys. That's stupid. I like to suffer through things and learn it myself. But I did it. And I grabbed her instead. And it was the best expense that I ever did. Coaches, we value coaching so much. The amount of time and aggravation it saved me by jumping on the calls with her. And she does that with multiple platforms because she's a techie nerd. She loves it.
I'm a marketing geek. Val had me embrace the fact that I am a geek.
Yeah.
Proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because when we need something and we want to know about it, we can go hit you up because you have probably looked at it or looked at something at least very similar, and not just one. You'll have looked at 3 or 4. You'll have reviewed a few of them, and the ins and outs of them. It sticks in your brain, the ins and outs of the different programs.
For some of them, especially if I've helped a client and they're in a different email system, I probably know a little more than I ever wanted to know about, Get Response or, at one point Flowdesk. And I'll tell you, I'll be perfectly honest right here that I'm probably going to go run another trial or maybe even purchase ConvertKit again because I need to give it another look because tech changes, folks. And as well as I'd love to say that I could stay with the same tool forever, and there are so many things that I still love about certain tools that are in my toolkit, including ActiveCampaign. The one truth I seem to know in email is that you are going to move software at some point.
Yeah.
Some of us may move more than once. And it's okay. And it doesn't have to be so painful because if you choose something, and here's why I do recommend you choose one of the bigger players that has lots of other folks specifically in your niche who are using it, because they're going to know how to give you use cases that your business. I can't tell you how, an e-commerce or a brick and mortar store should best set up their emails, and that maybe they are better off with Constant Contact or something else. Go find the people that are coaches, that are authors, that are service providers like you, so that you can be like Val, you can go pick that person's brain and go, hey, help me solve this problem quicker than sifting through 40 gazillion knowledge-based tutorials.
Yeah, because when you don't know what you don't know, that was my problem. I didn't know the terminology they used, and I didn't even know how to search for what I wanted to happen. Because I had been, and I agree that you should be looking at other programs, because you don't know if you're in the best program for you until you look outside.
You don't know if it's the right one for you for right now.
Yes.
I'll also tell people, look, hey, maybe it makes sense for you to be in MailerLite right now so that you can build and become consistent with emails. And then you might make a change to something else. The same way is true for your shopping cart, for umpteen different tools that you're using. You need to use what's right for you for right now, so you move forward in your business and you're making those sales and the people you need to help, and you don't stay stuck.
Yeah.
That's the platform I've come to be on, because Lord knows I used to be like, no, you got to use this tool.
Yeah.
You got to use this tool.
Right. Yep.
I'm still going to tell you some tools are better than others. But
you also tell us why.
Yeah.
so that we can make our own
Val's brain
decision.
works differently.
Yeah.
In mine.
Yeah, it totally worked differently, but I embraced it. I absolutely love Active Campaign. If you saw my rants about it, we can talk about it again at another time. I embraced my love of Active Campaign again, but it took me a long time to get to Active Campaign and leave because I was at AWeber. I was grandfathered in. I don't even want to
for 6 years.
I don't even want to know what my inclusions were grandfathered in because I was grandfathered in from like the dawn of time. I'd been on so long and yeah. Anyways, but it didn't grow with me and I was ready to grow. And so that's why I switched. That's why I was looking at ConvertKit and other platforms was because I needed to go higher level. And that was not keeping up back 4 years ago when I switched. It was definitely not even close to whatever it's doing now.
And sometimes it's not even higher level. It's, your business has changed. Your offers have changed. The people that you work with may have changed. Your confidence has changed, and like you said, does that tool fit you and does it allow you to keep growing or is it keeping you stuck? Yeah. I've changed shopping carts. I'm going to change again, because, where do I want to spend my brain power and time?
Yes.
Things or learning things has changed. Change is the only tech constant.
Yep, absolutely. Better wrap this up. It's been a good long one.
I exported my list. It took while we were talking.
Good.
Everybody go back up your data. That day is coming. World Backup Day is coming on March 31st. So get on it now.
Yeah, do it now and be ahead of the curve. Thanks so much for being here, Jennifer. And I'm sure we'll talk again on another topic because we could talk about anything all day. I will have all the information for you to get in touch with Jennifer and go grab her opt-in. We'll be honest, we didn't even know what opt-in it is right now because we came to this conversation with we can talk about whatever we want. So it'll be down there in the show notes in a more professional manner that my podcast manager will take care of. And then you can poke her and say, hey, remember about that email challenge? Remember about the emails? Pete, please go up, poke her, because I'm waiting for it too. All right. Thanks so much, Jennifer. And I appreciate you.